Welcome back, family, to Northside LDN, first episode of Tough Talk. Big up to everyone that's locked in, and we've got a great panel for the Tough Talk show. Big up to Rachid, Tony, Ola, Hooks, Aaron. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you, man, are subscribing to the Mandem as well. The only one I couldn't, can somebody please get Aaron's channel link so I can pin it in the chat? I ran out of characters. But make sure you're subscribing to the Mandem, please. Anyone in the chat, Zir, any of the guys, Gun Down, any of the mods, please. Even Yasser, please can you get Aaron's link and I will pin it for the whole show. Make sure you're subscribing to all the Mandem as well, giving up their time. And we're going to get straight into it. Guys, I don't know if you saw Arteta's press conference after the game. He said that there was very, very small margins between us and PSG. He said that it was the small margins of the goalkeepers and the two big opportunities that we didn't take, but between the teams that it was small margins. I mean, we're gonna take it one by one to get everyone's thoughts. Let's start with Rachid, and we'll go around everyone as they're talking, and then it's a free fall. Rachid, small margins, bro. 1-0 against PSG. What's your thoughts, man?
My thoughts are that you shouldn't rely on two chances when you don't have a killer. I'll just start there, because if you're not creating that much, you need someone to finish those goals. The reason why we didn't create, everybody knows, because we have a midfield of Moreno, unable to move because he doesn't have the time on the ball. PSG ain't going to give you that. Declan Rice, not the best carrying the ball forward, not the best that breaks the line. And Odegaard, sideways. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a problem. It's a problem because they kept our right back and left back. They usually do something like Skelly and Timber. People forget that usually they're very involved in going forward. But because of Dembele and Kvara, how talented they are, is the reason why they kept them busy. They didn't have the time to go forward. They didn't have the time for Timber to go help out Saka when he was in those situations where they were doubling up on him. Skelly to make that midfield, usually, you know, he inverts and he carries the ball sometimes, actually just helps out in that midfield. So I don't know what he's talking about small margin, because Arsenal at the first 40 minutes, they hardly touched the ball, just hoofing the ball. And in the second half, we reverted back to playing our old ways. You know what I'm saying? Old ways. We always had those two chances. Like every game, we always have like 2-3 chances, but it's not enough. You've seen that it's not enough time and time again. You've seen that it doesn't work for us. For us to score with the forwards that we have, we need to create more chances. We need to create at least 10, 12 chances for us to score. Clear cut, not those aimless crosses that we're doing. You know, yesterday we reverted back to aimless crosses. We hope that we scored from a set piece. I don't know, man. It's not small margins for me. There were big margins. It was football against rugby. Different, man. But what did we learn about that game? Is that Partey is our midfield. Or Rice can't play with Moreno or Jorginho or any other midfielders that Arteta actually rates. Because people are telling me, why didn't he play Moreno as a striker? Because who's he going to put in the midfield? Is he going to put Ethan? No. He's going to say, oh, defensively, he's not going to work defensively. Is he going to put who? He's not going to put MLS, because people will tell you, oh, MLS has never played there. You can't just start him against PSG. So, man, I don't know what he's talking about. But, yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
No, I hear it, man. I hear it. Ola, what's your thoughts, bro? What's your thoughts on small margins, bro? Small margins.
Bro, we got battered yesterday on the gameplay, man. The scoreline didn't reflect the actual game, and for me, it was more of what the manager didn't do. Like, all right, you could Partey missing, bonehead decision by him going to get himself booked, because we saw how much we missed him yesterday. But even that, there were solutions, right? All right, we consider that early goal. Not the end of the world. Stay in the game, right? Which, for the most part, maybe the defensive part of the team actually did. You know, consistency on what I was saying yesterday, watching the game live. And I just thought to myself, like, no, there's no way this manager is just going to sit there and watch what's going and do nothing. Right? But for me, I thought we didn't do the basics right. We didn't earn the right to play. We literally PSG was just disrespecting man on the pitch, bro. Like it was a joke thing. And then when you look at the way our players were playing, on forced errors, left, right, and center. I see a man dummying the ball to nobody. And the brother that was trying to catch the ball and get to the ball could have pulled a hamstring trying to chase that dummy. I feel to myself like, so when you made the dummy, like what? You didn't just made a dummy just for the heck of it, right? And Odegaard, some of the passes, some of the hiding, some of the gameplay was just irritating yesterday, bro. Like the whole thing just got me vexed. And I want to say this. After the manager leaving Odegaard on the pitch for as long as it did was a criminal offense. It was a criminal offense, bro. The brother should have been arrested right there on the spot. He should have been nicked. He should be looking for bail right now, bro. That's how pissed off I was yesterday, just leaving Odegaard on the pitch. And I said, it wasn't just Odegaard, Trossard. The same thing. Like that brother couldn't hold the ball up. He couldn't bring players into play. Like he just couldn't do the job. Everything just looked lopsided yesterday. Everything looked lopsided. The only good thing, and we said it right through the stream, the only good thing is the score was 1-0. And I say, after we considered that, look, I'm not gonna lose my shit over losing 1-0 because I'm gonna hold hope on a 1-0 margin loss. And I say that for good reason, right? It's still half time. I get all of that. But the performance in itself is what got me pissed off, bro. The performance, not even the scoreline, the performance in itself pissed me off more than the scoreline. Because the scoreline you can get back. But the performance like that, it drips itself into other games. It drips itself into upcoming games, right? And we've been seeing it from the Prem games that we've been playing as well. Some people want to think, oh yeah, the Prem games don't got nothing to do. For me, momentum is important. Go and win your games. Momentum is important, and I think some of our Premier League performances is sifting into what we're doing in the Champions League here, right? And this game is so important. These are high-stake games. And I get it, none of these players have been here before. But you got to make that step at some point, right? In Africa, in the Zulu, when you become of age, they send you in the jungle to go kill a lion with your bare hands, blood. You might not have done it before. But they send you in the jungle to go kill a lion with your bare hands. You see, at some point, you got to get out there and do it sink or swim. It's sink or swim, bro. And these players now got another 90 minutes to go and swim. Because I ain't drowning with these motherfuckers, bro. Yeah? I'm telling you right now. I ain't trying to drown with them. I've been here so many times. I got the scars. Tony knows what I'm talking about, bro. Like, this shit hurts.
Scars, man. Scars.
We've been here before. All of us got the mental scars to bury. Right? And a lot of what you see our fan base doing right now is all PTSD. I'm suffering from that PTSD too. I ain't gonna lie. So people, I don't know, man, but the performance for me, more than the result, actually got on my teeth. And this small margin talk, I mean, this manager got some front, man, to not make no substitution till the 88th minute when we're losing. And you could see the other manager that's winning the game making subs over you. Like, what we doing here? What's going on? How is this man on 15 million fucking pounds a year, 15 million pounds a year, and he can't make substitution while we're losing? And he's making like for like subs as well. Like, bro, you're supposed to be throwing kitchen sink at it. Try and get us back in the game. Bro, I don't know what you man thought, man, but boy, for me, the performance fucking it got me mad, bro. It got me rattled.
Facts. That's what I lost my head yesterday. 100%, Ola. I completely agree. It's the performance. It's the commitment. You know what I'm saying? From the lack of, from the players and the manager. You know what I mean? And before we even try, anyone even try to talk about, oh, don't just say Saka, don't just say, oh, no. The team as a collective weren't good enough. Let's just keep it real. Hooks, I want to go to you next, because when we spoke, you wanted people like me that have, opinions like myself to give a lot of props and praise for the team, which I did. I gave a lot of props for our performance against Real Madrid. And I said, let's take it easy because of some of the teams that we've been knocked out in the Europa League under this manager. We've been very poor in Europe under this manager. I know Wenger never got it over the line, but Wenger never, listen, certain times Wenger embarrassed us, but let's be real. He never had £1 billion to spend and he was losing his best player every year. Let's keep that in the conversation. This manager has kept on his best players, has been able to build the team as he wants it. And this is what we're seeing against PSG. This is exactly why I didn't get cocky. I didn't get arrogant. I gave the team props because I didn't believe we'll do it against Real Madrid. But I said, listen, we don't have heritage. And this manager within himself doesn't have heritage. Hooks, let me know what you thought about the game because I can see that you're vexed. And I'm sure all of us, regardless of our opinions, I know we agree and disagree in certain points. I know all of us are pissed off after that performance. Hooks, let me know because I ain't heard your opinion about this game. What went wrong against PSG and why couldn't we replicate the performance that we did against Real Madrid?
I'm not even really vexed. Like I'll be completely real. Like my vexation will come if like we don't go and do what we need to do in the second leg. Like I don't see any point in me crashing out at this moment in time for a few reasons. One of them being that for as good as PSG played, for as much as they played Arsenal off the park for like the large majority of the game, it's only 1-0. Like all they was able to do from all of that was score one goal against Arsenal, innit? Now, I understand what Arteta is talking about when he says small margin. Like if Martinelli scores that goal, it's a different game. Martinelli should be scoring that goal. Like we all know that Martinelli should be scoring that goal. Like that chance there should be in the back of the net. You don't need to be a top level Premier League footballer to put that chance in the back of the net. Trossard should probably be scoring that chance as well. Great save, But outside of that, it was a poor performance. I did expect a bit more. I do slightly understand it now. I understand it though now in hindsight when I'm looking at all of the things that kind of made us great against Real Madrid. We weren't actually able to do due to Partey just being not in the lineup. Like Partey not being in the 6 meant that Declan Rice had to go in the 6. Declan Rice, all of the good performances that we've seen from him this season in the Champions League has been from the 8. There's already a bit of dysfunction there. Like Marino, all of the best performances that we've seen from Arsenal in the Champions League has been when Marino's been in the 9. Marino went into the midfield. Like it makes sense why there's a bit of dysfunction. Like the players have probably just got so accustomed to like the I guess as a unit of players playing in a certain way that like Partey just coming out. If anything, this game should show people how important Thomas Partey or a player like that can play like Partey is to what we aim to do in the midfield. Like obviously Ødegaard, crap game again, but I feel like that's low hanging fruit. Like I feel like at this point everybody knows Ødegaard's just Ødegaard at the moment, innit? But even missing Partey kind of made Ødegaard a bit worse because Ødegaard naturally he likes to drop deep, and when he drops deep, he's got that link up man Partey right next to him who he can play the ball off and move and try and find a different place to move into and then receive the ball and then try and make something happen. He's usually like, albeit as it may, he's not really that clinical in the final third. Like he is the guy that goes around and knits everything together and keeps the ball moving and keeps it progressing in certain ways. Like I feel like Declan Rice was left on an island yesterday. Like he kind of had to play the 6, the 8, and the 10 all alone. Like in my opinion, I think that Marino and Ødegaard might as well have just stood off the pitch personally. And then it's hard because now, like Declan Rice, he's accustomed to playing the 8. He's naturally trying to move forward. That leaves a gaping space right in front of our centre backs. So I'm not surprised that we got exposed. But look, they scored that one goal. It kind of shows that, if you don't shoot, you don't score. Like it wasn't the cleanest of hits, but it's just you get me. It's the small margins. You know what I mean? So look, I feel like PSG took advantage of the fact that we didn't have our strongest midfield. I feel like PSG took advantage of the fact that we didn't have a link man up top. I feel like Trossard was awful in the 9. I feel like even if like at some point during the game, Arteta just went, you know what, Marino, you know, go up top for a bit. I'll try and find a different solution in the midfield. I feel like it would have made Saka and Martinelli a bit more involved in the game. But I mean, it is what it is, man. We just, you know, we got Bournemouth on the weekend. You know, I personally, I hear Ola's point about momentum, but I personally don't give two shits about the game. Like me personally, I would play all of our reserves, all of our academy, and just say, hey, you man, you got an extra bit of rest to make sure that your bodies are like fully as close to 100% as possible for the second leg. And then we fly over to Paris, you know, pick up some croissants on the way and just smoke them over there. It's the only option we got now. Like, we've put ourselves into a corner where now the players and the manager have to prove to everybody and themselves that they can go and make something happen. And if they don't, then you know they have to be judged accordingly, in it. You know what I mean? So I guess that's kind of my. And you know what? I like. One thing I will say is that. Okay, so obviously obviously I can't see into the future or anything like that, yeah. But I'm pretty sure if the ref didn't give Nunes that foul, that wasn't a foul. Technically, it was the assistant ref that gave it. Saka cooked him. He's through. He probably scores, and that's where the small margins come in again. So, do you get it? It is what it is. You know, we've lost now. Nothing we can do about it. You know, just analyze the game, see where we went wrong. There's going to be natural changes anyway, and we go back out, give it 100%. All the players are talking about full gas. Oh, yeah, we're gonna go over there and do something. Then go do it. You know what I mean? Enough of the talking. Just go action. By the way, the Tifo was shit as well.
Massively shit.
No, listen. Some bits I agree with, some bits I don't agree with. I don't think it's as easy as just add Partey and all of a sudden we're cooking again. Because I still don't feel like we were. Listen, when they beat Liverpool, they had Gravenberch and McAllister, top midfielders, and they still couldn't nullify PSG. So I do think just adding Partey, do we look better? Yes. Does that mean that we stop their attack? No. No, we don't. We were still getting beat 1v1. You know, Lewis Skelly and Timber were still getting beat by Dembele, by Kvaratskhelia, by Doué, and they will still get beat if they left 1v1. We were still getting pulled out of position. But yes, do we improve? Yes. I still don't think. I feel like the way they play and the way they press and the way they drag our players out of position, which is what they did. And I haven't seen a team drag us out of position the way that they did. Kivio at times in the midfield. You know what I'm saying? Lewis Skelly, I haven't seen him get beat like that. Did he make some good tackles? Yes, but he got beat a lot as well. Timber had an absolute howler. Do you know what I mean? So I don't feel like it resolves everything automatically. Do you know what I mean? Just bringing Partey back. Obviously, it makes our team stronger. And yes, the way we play. But I feel like, you know, the small margins, a lot of it weighs a lot on this manager as well. In-game management. And I've always said, we'll win the Champions League or lose it based on this manager. Based on what he brings to the team. Because he's created a very robotic team that look to instructions. They look to him as to what they're supposed to do and how they're supposed to transition, what defensive shape they're supposed to play, where they need to be, how they need to get back as a unit. It's all based around him. We don't have, you know, individual stars really, barring Saka that's able to do whatever he wants. It's a very system. It's very around Arteta's system and where he wants them to play. So if he doesn't figure it out, which he didn't in the first game, I don't see us overcoming PSG. I don't think he's that kind of manager. But listen. Let's go to Aaron next, and then we'll go to Tony. Aaron, what do you make of the game and what the panel said, bro?
Yeah, man. Look, I was at the game yesterday, and I had a good view of the whole entire 90 minutes. And listen, man, we're all saying about fine margins, small margins, this and all that. The only small fine margin was the scoreline. That's literally it. Because when I'm looking at the way the team set out tactically, there's a massive margin. Absolutely massive gaping, mind the gap margin. When I look at the players on the field, massive margin. When I look at the way they're playing cohesively as a team, massive margin. When I'm looking just in terms of in-game tactics, like what you just touched on, North, massive, massive margin. Midfielding quality, massive margin. And you know what as well? This is a big, big, big margin. Arteta's saying about, yeah, you know, we didn't take our chances. They did. That's what separates men from the boys, by the way. Taking them chances. We missed 2 great opportunities. The top teams and the top players take them. And that's the big difference. We had 2 opportunities. We didn't take them. They took their chance away from home. And it's a big, big win for them. This is a big gap. We need to go there and win by 2 clear goals. Of course, we can go and win 1-0, 2-1, whatever. Get ourselves a little draw. But we've left it so difficult for ourselves. From the minute, I promise you, the fans were absolutely excellent, by the way. Can I just say that? In the build-up, everywhere around the Emirates Stadium, outside in the concourse, before the game was kicking off, the first couple of minutes, everyone was absolutely buzzing. The fans brought their A game. After a couple of minutes, even as soon as that whistle blew, we folded. We got driven into the ground like a tent peg, mate. They were just better than us from the second that ref put that whistle in his mouth. They were just better than us, dominated us. The midfield, it almost looked like they had 15 players. We just couldn't get out of our box even, let alone out of our half. The first half I was sat there and I was thinking, we can't even get out of our own penalty box. We were passing back. Odegaard's doing his best Denilson impression again. Passing to the left and to the right, passing sideways. It is absolutely unacceptable. Yes, there were players, we've named them. Timber, wow, had a bit of a mare today, or yesterday rather. There were players that weren't good enough, like your Trossards. Marino was just ridiculous. Just says everything you need to know about the type of recruitment that we've been doing over the last couple of years. He just wasn't anywhere near good enough as a midfielder, and that's why I sort of said, why not leave him up top? Why not maybe bring Zinchenko in? So you can just leave MLS doing his thing, leave Marino doing his thing. Don't destable it. What does he do? Classic Mikel Arteta things. He moves something that's working because one player got suspended and now we've got 2 issues. We've got now a crap midfield and a worse attack. And he's done it all season. If we've got a right back injured, he moves about 5 different positions to accommodate for it. Why can't we just deal with the midfield? Why can't we just deal with that one position? Instead, he has to change what's working up top and then make the midfield weaker simultaneously. It's frustrating, bro. We was never in that game. Yeah, we did heat up a little bit second half, but the game was done. I mean, we never really caused them any trouble. Donnarumma made a couple of good saves, but one of them's got to go in, and that's what I'm saying, separates the men from the boys. The winners take that. They do. Was there any stage yesterday where you sat there watching Arsenal in particular and thought, yeah, this is the team that's winning the Champions League, you know? Because I didn't. I didn't sit there and think that once. I thought, wow, there we go. We found our level. Mikel Arteta has found his level. He's not better than that. He's got found out tactically by a coach who's done it before. Because he's got a CV when PSG hired him. Yes, it's taken him a little while to maybe get there, but he's had a proper progression. He's done it before at Barcelona. We've got a manager with no CV. He's hit his height. He won the quarterfinal trophy against Real Madrid, and that's good enough for a lot of these fans. But it ain't for me. When's it enough? When does it stop? When do we sit there and go, do you know what? This ain't good enough. Do you know what? Our mega-star captains, Patrick Vieira, right up there, yeah? Patrick Vieira. We had Tony Adams. They captained us for 3 decades. We had a man like Kenny Sampson before. We had Graham Ricks, David O'Leary, Pat Rice, Alan Ball captaining us. We've had phenomenal managers like Arsene Wenger, George Graham, who's managed us. Herbert Chapman, Bertie Mee. Now we've got Mikel and Martin Odegaard. Look at the drop-off, people. And we're wondering why we're not winning anything. The manager is a reflection of his captain and vice versa. Nowhere near good enough. They found their level. And I'm telling you what, it ain't elite level sport winning. It's not. They're not this level. It's as simple as that. It just frustrates me, bro, because I know I'm going to sit there 1st of August and go, here we go again. Same old thing over and over again. Bill Murray settings, Groundhog Day. Then we'll be doing the same thing in the summer of 26, the same thing in the summer of 27 until we finally decide to make the changes. Yes, there were poor players out there before I finish up. Yes, there were. But only one of them had the C on their arm there. Only one of them had that. That was the captain. And yet again, he failed to step up because he's a role model not a captain.
No, I hear it. I hear it, bro. I hear it. Listen, we're going to go to Tony Claude. Tony, you called me out as I called you out before the Real Madrid game. I said we wasn't going to beat Real Madrid. You were correct. We beat Real Madrid convincingly. And I can't lie. I felt like PSG beat us as convincingly as we beat Real Madrid. You know what I mean? They won every duel. They were quick to the ball. We couldn't keep up with their transitions, the way they were interlinking their positions and crossing over. One time, Doué's on the right, then he's on the left. Then Dembele moving side to side as well. The midfield was absolutely bopping. It wasn't just Vitinha. Jean Neves as well was laying off some great balls as well into Dembele. Balls over the top. They were playing through us, through the middle. Our fullbacks were getting cooked. Now, I remember you saying to me, Tony, that PSG is going to be easy. PSG is going to be easy, and we're going to be able to slap them 3-1. And it's not going to be difficult. The only team that you respect or fear left in the Champions League is Inter Milan. And I remember me saying to you, PSG is not going to be like Real Madrid. And you said to me, Real Madrid, I told you no side. You laughed at me. And I told you that we'll beat Real Madrid, which you were correct. And I told you the way PSG are playing is not the same as when we beat them. You said, but we already beat them this season. I said, they're not playing the same way. The intensity, the way that they played, even though I saw the game against Liverpool. And I said, we want to be praising and propping up this Arsenal team based on what we did against Real Madrid. You can't sleep on what they did against Liverpool. Against Liverpool, these guys are supposed to be the pressing kings, and they bopped them off the park. And every Liverpool fan in the chat were telling you, and they were saying, yo, I hear why Northside's cautious. I said, listen, I'm not confident. I'm not cocky. I don't think this is going to be easy. You now see why I was why I was asking for caution against PSG. Because they absolutely beat us in every department in that game. Every department. Tony, what's your thoughts about PSG? What do you make of the game, bro?
Yeah, not side. I mean, yeah, thanks for just being a little bit, kind of like honest with the whole analysis of what happened and what I've actually said. First of all, I mean, this chat, I've come to this channel and, I've said a lot of things, and I just want to apologize, first of all, guys. I mean, those of you in the chat. I mean, I came down here. I went on Rachid's channel too. Also, I said that we're gonna smack up PSG. I was wrong. Sometimes you just have to take a hard look at the mirror sometimes and take responsibility and accountability. If we are asking for accountability from the club, I too should be, accountable and responsible for my misgivings and missaying. I totally underestimated PSG, and they kind of hit. I mean, these guys packed the whole heat. They brought it to the Emirates on the day, and it left me completely shocked. Yes, I was still getting to that Thomas Partey missing and all that, stuff. But I mean, this is the semi-finals of the Champions League. I mean, the players should be turning up for this one. I mean, there should have been that urgency from the players. And to be very sincere with you, I did not see any urgency with these players at all. It looked like we're playing a league game, just like a domestic game. I didn't see that urgency. I mean, guys, yeah, I mean, we've seen Arsenal start at the front foot when we're playing in domestic games. Even all our European games this season, we always started, at least in the first 15 minutes, we're always on the front foot. We're always taking the games to them. Even Real Madrid, when they came to the Emirates, always on the front foot, pushing it. But with this one, at the start of the first 15 minutes, it's like we're just gobsmacked. I don't know what happened. And again, what really led me to even believe that we're going to smack up PSG in the first place is because I felt we had more physical players. Even if we're still missing Thomas Partey, I still felt like Merino still has that physicality about him. I still felt that Declan Rice could also play in that number 6. Well, I think I'm wrong in that evaluation right now. It just showed that he's not that number 6 that we think he should be. Maybe a number 8, a box number 8. I agree. But again, he does need someone who would sit down deep alongside him to take up all that hit. And that's where that Thomas Partey story comes to play. But again, where we lost this game, first of all, let's even take it down to the drawing board, was the first 11. Let's start from there. Let's just start from there. Seeing that first 11 threw me off even before we started that matchup. What is Trossard doing starting up front in the semi-finals of Champions League, Mikel Arteta? I mean, he's out here saying fine margins and all this arrant nonsense. Like, how do you start a Trossard in this game? Go for, I mean, see, we're battling with injuries crippling this squad, and this manager still doesn't have the technical know-how on how to handle the squad and how to, I mean, no plan B, nothing. Just aren't useless. I mean, why would you remove Merino that we know has come into that shining light? He has brought that breath of fresh air in that number 9 position whenever he's been asked to do that job, even if naturally he's not, he's a midfielder, we get that. But again, we've turned him into something that is even more better than Kai Havertz in a good day that I've seen. And then you bring in Trossard there because he got a brace in the weekend against Ipswich. This is not Ipswich. This is the semi-finals of the Champions League. And this is something that has always worked for you. Merino up top. And it even still showed when he scored an offside goal yesterday. So this matchup, first of all, it was lost with Mikel Arteta and his formation. And this goddamn manager is, see it, guys, I was so pissed with the way David Raya was actually just looping the ball up top. I do understand that playing from the back was a bit jittery yesterday. I mean, Saliba was making some certain kind of movements that was, was moving mad yesterday. Kivior, not too confident on the ball, via the back. Hence, Raya had to loop those balls up top. If we're to do that, if we're under pressure and we're to do that, you've always been training with the same players. You've been training with David Raya all through. How come David Raya can't, just loop up, setting decisive, effective balls up top if you to play like that? Where is the coercion? Where is the practice? So that takes you back to what are these guys learning with Mikel Arteta at the helm of affairs? If you can't play through the back effectively and your goalkeeper cannot look the ball up top effectively, then what are we doing here? What are we doing here? On the day, see, some people, I heard a brother of mine talked about Bukayo Saka and, of course, he didn't show up to the party. Yes, he didn't show up to the party yesterday. That's because of something he was doubled up on yesterday. But again, I look at that goal that Dembele scored yesterday. How come Paris Saint-Germain at the Emirates are doubling up on Bukayo Saka and Dembele wasn't even, see, guys, he drifted into our midfield like knife cutting into butter yesterday. Stunned. 4th minute. How? Why? Early goal. Why? And people don't want to call out Declan Rice because he was one of the shining lights yesterday. But he was tasked with with that mandate of actually protecting our back four. He didn't protect our back four yesterday. It was clear to see. How would Dembele just have that freedom to just go into that midfield just like that? Find Vara. Vara finding him again. No one was doubling up on Vara. First of all, it was just move back, forward, move back, jittery defending, all over the place again. I mean, they use the space. And again, when you know PSG's strength is based on the attackers that they have. I mean, Bacola, Doué, Vara, Dembele again. I mean, you have to understand that these guys are going to make the pitch quite bigger. So you have to be decisive whenever you're making any move. All our players, no one, absolutely no one was actually doing the man marking thing. We're just all over the place, totally all over the place. And again, I did feel like even if PSG had midfielders that had the skill set, number one, to move the ball around quite quicker, and they did that yesterday, I did feel like there was no physicality about their midfield. But they outshone us that even had any shrink of physicality at all. Yeah, Thomas Partey missing is a very, very big factor in this game. I'm not going to throw that all away. If he comes into this team, it will be something very, very different, because that gives Declan Rice that lease of life, that freedom to at least go out box to box, do his thing, try to, get some set pieces, to the team. I get that. But again, if Thomas Partey isn't there, I mean, you still have to be fired up for a game like this. It's a semi-final of the Champions League, and you should show up. And again, people, Martin Odegaard. I mean, many times I've talked about this player. Many times. Some don't listen. Some like him because of his hair and how he flicks his hair. What an idiot. Complete garbage. See ya, people, yeah. Odegaard is a passenger in this team. A very, very big passenger. When Arsenal win games, or when we do draw games, that spotlight don't go to Odegaard. But I mean, when you play in the semi-finals of the Champions League, where every man counts, where every pass counts, where every creativity is done by someone, and they use every man for a particular reason, and we have our captain, our creative spark, someone who's to be our creative spark, by the way, ghosting around, not around, doesn't show up to a semi-final of the Champions League. As bad as
your mic, Tony, he was.
We're toast. I mean, we're toast. We're toast. He never showed up to that party. And again, Mikel Arteta again. I mean, Hooks, I'm sorry, man. I'll have to go at you with this one, because I still don't know why you want this manager. I mean, I resonate with a whole lot of what you say and how you say things. I fuck with you, really. Yeah? You're like a brother in everything you say. I feel like we're soul brothers. But I mean, I think it's time you start calling out Mikel Arteta. Also, he's a very, very big culprit of what we faced yesterday. Starting from the lineup. See, throw away the lineup. How about making changes to effect change in that team yesterday? 5 minutes, Hooks, 5 minutes to the end of the game. That's when we're getting Waneri to even come in. What can this kid do? What can this kid do to get into this team as a mainstay?
I'm mad.
Why aren't you calling out the manager on this one? On this shenanigans? I mean, let's call a spade a spade. You've always backed the manager. Despite everything, you've always backed the manager. Yeah, I know I say some garbage. Yeah, I completely get that. I support my team. Yeah, I'm a positive guy. Yeah, shoot me for that. I get that. But again, let's call a spade a spade. This manager has completely roasted this team. He's roasted this team. How is Odegaard in that team for good 80 minutes? Doing what? A passenger in the team. What are we doing? I mean, folks, what are we doing here? What are we doing here?
Tony, hold on. Let him reply. Let him reply, Tony. Let him reply.
I'm on Hook's blood.
I'm mad confused why this brother is talking to me, bro. I'm mad confused, bro. Like, man's doing that thing where maybe he comes on your channel and talks bare stuff, and he's trying to find another target for man in the chat to swing to. But bro, you're definitely talking to the wrong guy, bro, because I've called out Arteta bare times this season, and I've actually said on many occasions across many a channel, if you don't win me a major this season, it's time for you to get out of my club, bro. So I don't know what Wagwan. Yeah, they keep me get me, keep me out of it. You know what I mean? Like, you get me, keep me out of it. I ain't got nothing to do with it. Keep me out of it. You get me? I don't care about. You get me? Go. You get me? Rage at someone else, or you get me? Like maybe you can't hear people because your mic is muted and you're still talking. You haven't realized your mic's muted, bro. Your mic's muted. You haven't realized that your mic's muted, bro.
Hold on, Tony.
He doesn't have sound on. He doesn't have sound on. He can't hear what we're saying, bro.
Tony, let him land.
I'm telling him his mic's muted, bro. You can't hear us. Your mic's muted, bro.
Tony, now listen, you're my guy, but sometimes people want to go back at the question that you made and you don't let them answer it. That's the only reason why I mute. I don't want to mute anyone. But if you make a question or you ask someone like Hooks, why you keep backing this manager, allow him to reply, and then you can.
Bro, I didn't even want to. Bro, I'm just sitting here going. This is one of the calmest Northside streams I've ever been on. We're all just sitting, everybody's saying their piece, nobody's beefing, and then out of nowhere.
I'm not beefing, man. No, far from it.
I'm getting hit by a bullet straight.
I'm not beefing. I'm not beefing, man.
You get it? You know them ones.
I'm not. No. I'm not.
Someone else is getting drive-by, and the bullet just came through my window, bro. All I was doing was I was cooking some rice.
Tony just being a radio guy, man. He just been a radio guy, man.
Charlemagne Claude, isn't it? Charlemagne Claude, bro. Just calling up the host. You know what I'm saying? But listen, Hooks.
What I'm just saying is that Hooks, you just have to call out the manager too. I mean, because out of everyone here, you were the one that said you understood that matching thing. Bro, I don't understand the matching thing. If anyone, bro, you are the only one that said it. Rachid doesn't understand. It's a different language from what Aaron was talking about. It's a different language. I mean, you're the only one that understood that matching thing. So don't act surprised when you catch into straight. Because I don't understand the goddamn thing about this margins this complete idiot is talking about. I don't understand any word of it.
Okay, wait. So you don't understand. Obviously, let's address everything that I said. Yeah. So you don't understand small margins when we had two chances that should have been put in the back of the net, but they wasn't. And you're telling me you don't understand what small margins means? What are we doing? If both of those, if Martin,
they totally outclassed us in every position yesterday.
The game, but
that's what I'm talking about, and there's no small margins about that. We're totally outclassed in the attacking area. Defensively, one thing we do know is that we can't break mid-block teams. We can't even break low-block teams. We can't do it. When was the last time we successfully broke low-block teams? We don't do it. There was no margins in that one. I didn't hear that. They scored a goal, they went back, sat back, and it's okay.
I'm going to go back on mute.
They even got two chances on transition.
I'm going back on mute.
Where is the little margins there?
Books, you got to answer for your crimes. You got to answer for your crimes.
No. I'm not doing I'm not doing the war thing. I'm not doing it. I can't be asked.
Can I say this? Yeah. Can I say this? Yeah? You know I don't lie on anyone. Yeah. If someone says something, I'll say that you said it. Hooks, to be fair, Tony, I can't lie. He has called out the manager. He has said if he doesn't win the major honor, he wants him out as well, which we will hold him accountable if we're out, because I believe that we're out. But he is optimistic about a lot of things. You know, before we went live, he said, I think, Hooks, you said in the chat that Saka didn't have a bad game. I disagree with that point. I think Saka had a bad game. If you're telling me that Saka was, you know, nobody was helping Saka and he was getting troubled up on and bare players around him, why couldn't we implement the same across their front three attacking line? Why couldn't we do that? Why couldn't we do that to their midfield? You know, and even though it is part of why he didn't play well, at the same time, none of them did. We can go through the reasons why players had a bad game. Declan Rice didn't have the best of games because he needs Partey there sitting so he can do the box-to-box thing. Cool. We can go into the reasons why, but all of them played bad. They all played bad. Raya made some good saves, to be fair, kept us in the tie. Saliba did a really good last-ditch tackle. But all in all, for 90 minutes, the team was poor. All of them. It's not even an agenda. It's not it's only Saka, it's only Odegaard. All of them were poor. None of them did their job. None of them did their job. And that's the point. The reasons as to why players weren't playing. Let me just say this. The manager did come out and say, I didn't get certain players because we have internal solutions. We have players that can play multiple positions. So it sounds like a him problem, bro. That's what it sounds like to me. If we want to go to injuries, I'm not saying that you said that, I'm just making a point. If we're going to go to injuries, Hooks, yeah, the only one that starts is Gabriel. That's it. We got one injury. Calafiori does nothing in this game. Let's just keep it real. He is not better than Skelly, and he's a defensive liability. This game was way too fast for Havertz. He ain't imposing himself, and he can get barges off the ball. So I think Moreno playing up front would have been more effective than Havertz. Tomiyasu doesn't get into the lineup with the players that we got. We had our best defense barring Gabriel, which is why he's the only one that would start. Jesus doesn't play in this game, and Jorginho doesn't play in this game. We're one player out, and this is the.
Wait, Jorginho actually plays in this game, by the way.
Jorginho doesn't play in this game.
Jorginho, you may not want him. No. Okay, you may not want him to play in this game. I may not want him to play in this game. But Jorginho plays in this game.
But does he start in this game?
Yeah, 100%. You're telling me if Jorginho was fit, all Arteta has to go is just play Jorginho where Partey is, and then everybody else plays.
I've not heard you say let's play Jorginho all season.
No. I'm not saying about me. I'm not saying about me because I'm not the manager.
Yeah, look at the opposition,
I don't think I not, bro.
Bro, even Moreno couldn't keep up. Jorginho's probably slower than Moreno, bro. He's not
but
up with the pace of the game.
Okay, we're talking about different things here. No,
because he's not going to keep up with the pace of the game.
We're talking about different things.
The pass. He would get pressed out of the pass.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. We're talking about
I want to bring it back to the small margins thing, though. I want to bring it back to the small margins thing because what Tony was trying to say is you saying if Martinelli had done this or if this player had done that, like they had players that were licking up crossbars. There are chances.
That was offside. It
was offside. All right. Okay. So it was offside, right? But like I said, that player didn't know that at the time.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter because it was offside.
That Marino had as well. We're putting it up there, but he didn't know it was offside at the time, right? I actually praised Marino, right, for when he was in the box because when he looked like he got challenged for a penalty, and I looked on first.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was penalty. Then you look back
and that was amazing.
That was an amazing tackle. It was so clean. It was so clean. But I was saying to myself, like, there you go, Arteta. Right? This guy is telling you, put me back in the box. I don't look like a real player out there in the midfield. Put me in the box. Right? Then he went up there and got that header, right? That could have equalized the game. Right? But again, it was offside. Right? So these were the little chances that we got.
Yeah, the small margins.
The chances they got.
The small margins. Yeah.
But when you look at the chances they got, right? That they it don't amount to small margins, bro. Right?
Yeah, but it clearly does because they only scored one goal. Which again,
I've said it before. You might as well go on Drewski's show, blood, and go and do the could have been thing, blood. Yeah.
But that's the whole point. But that's what small margins like. We can't talk about small margins without actually acknowledging what he means when he says.
But then you got to acknowledge what they did. They shot.
Okay, and the reason why
was way more than what we did.
And the reason. No, but the reason why they played better and they looked more fluid and they was more of an attacking threat is because that's something tactical. Like when we was watching it, we were seeing it all. Like, bro, their front three, they was interchanging the whole game.
So that's a massive margin.
We only did it once, and that's the one that Martinelli nearly scored from.
Yeah, there was.
You know what? Let's count the amount of things they did well to what we did well. All they need to improve on, is their finishing. That's all they need to improve on. We can't play out the press. We're getting caught out with the long ball over the top. We can't defend 1v1s.
On forced errors.
Our passing, we couldn't counter attack. We couldn't finish.
Overrun the midfield.
Overrun in the midfield. Tactically not
Take our
making the right
chances.
substitutions. Tactically didn't change formation. Tactically didn't make any subs that changed the game. We got about 10 things that we did wrong in this game.
Yeah.
So many things. What is the most likely thing to happen? They will score at home. They will score at home. They are wasteful. Even the Liverpool fans told me they're wasteful in front of goal.
Yeah,
They are wasteful.
they're very wasteful. Hence
Yeah,
why.
they're wasteful. But
Hence why.
we're wasteful.
Hence why.
And we're
Hence why.
limited.
Yeah, but-
We're wasteful. Yeah, but
Hence
we're
why we had 10 wrong things.
Oh, they had
and we
about
only
5
scored one
chances
goal.
that they could have scored though.
Yeah, but we had 10 wrong
How many
things
chances did
and they only
really
scored one goal.
create? But Hooks, bro, against this team, we're barely creating any chances. We're sticking to 2 chances, Martinelli and Trossard, and then we are wasteful also, creating less opportunities. This is the difference.
Yeah, but we was
Every other phase
yeah,
of
but
the game,
but they was
they're
playing,
blocking us.
but they was playing with their first team
But brothers,
midfield,
And
and
Gabriel out. Don't do that. We only have.
but
they
brothers,
was
can I-
playing.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
can I just touch on this small margin thing? Yeah, we know that Martinelli's not a killer and Saka's not a killer. Why are we acting like they score every game, like they score 20 goals a season? Do you know what I'm saying? They're not them kind of players. They have Dembele and Kvara, Martinelli and Saka. They're not them type of players, bro. They're 15, maybe 15 goal a season kind of players. I haven't seen him score more than 20. Hopefully in the future they will. But right now, you can't talk about small margins. You picked these players. You kept these players. You know that we're wasteful.
Yeah, but we
You
can't.
But you minimized it to 2
can't do
chances.
this
It's
every
bad.
time, bro. Every time we don't score or lose a game, you kept these players. Yes, the players are here now, and and yes, the players are here now. Unfortunately, we didn't do what we needed to do in the transfer window.
But they don't kill it
Yes,
though. Do you
where-
agree with me?
we can't go back to that every single time. Martinelli,
We can call it out. But we can
Martinelli
call it
is a professional footballer playing at
Why
the
can't we call it
highest
out?
level. So is Trossard. It doesn't matter that we didn't sign this brother. Martinelli and Trossard
It
should
does,
be
because
more
of situations
than
like this, Hawk.
capable of finishing those chances that they had. They
No,
should be
they're
more
not.
than
Martinelli
capable.
misses all the time, Hawks.
But they should be more than
All the time.
capable of finishing that, bro.
Okay, so Hooks, let me
They
get this
don't.
right. You're telling us that we can't call this out because we've got what we've got. The reason why we're complaining and making it known more now, because this fan base might not be you. I ain't gonna put words in your mouth. Yeah, but this fan base will then look at Martinelli. Oh, maybe we can develop him next season. This
No,
is
he's
what we
shit.
do.
No,
Yeah?
get rid.
No, this is what this fan base do, bro. They continue with the bullshit players that we've got that are not good enough and say, oh, but we got close. We were so close. Maybe we'll develop him next season. Or maybe we'll go and get Calafiori to unlock him, or Moreno to unlock him, or maybe we'll do this and that. We're highlighting it now. Yeah.
That's why-
Because
that's why
there's a
we-
bullshit. Well, hold on, bro. Now I'll let you go. Yeah. The bullshit narrative then is created. The reason we're complaining now is because when we was calling it in hindsight, saying there will be games like this, people are like, but we're scoring now. How about scoring at the start of the season? Oh, Martinelli scoring 1-2 goals. Oh, Trossard is scoring this. And we said there's always going to be games like this where you need a killer. So we're then
there
going to
is.
call it out. Because we know that eventually the goals will dry up. We called out the set pieces and say they'll dry up. The free kicks, people start waxing lyrical about Declan Rice's free kicks, and they were great free kicks. But you're not going to get those free kicks from shooting range every game. And you're not going to score it every game. I didn't even see David Beckham score every game. Free kicks, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's probably one of the best free kick takers I've ever seen. So this is what we said. So now that we're saying it again, with all respect, yeah, we have every right to call it out. Because when we was calling that out when the club could have done something, people didn't want to hear it. Start of the season, every single time.
It doesn't change anything.
It does change something. It does change something.
It doesn't change
You know what it
anything.
changes? The next time, the people that are listening that call us out and say that we're just being negative and saying that why can't we just get behind Havertz, or why can't we get behind Martinelli, or why can't these players chip in? The narrative of we sped the goals round. Well, these are the games that we're talking about. For
But
big
they're going
honest,
to do that. Northside, you know that they're still going to do that. You know that they're still going to say the exact same thing to you.
and we're going to still say the same
No,
thing.
you know
And
what I mean?
also,
It's like-
also, at the start of the season, I also said, yeah, this bench has only been created to hold on to a lead, not to get back into a game. And we saw it again. We only have Gabriel out, and look at the options, Hooks.
No,
yeah?
we have
don't-
more than Gabriel out.
No, we don't. All right, let me let, and I'm going to shut up. I'm going to let everyone go because it's not just me talking. We've got Ethan on the bench. We've got Sterling. That's a bum. Yeah. We've
Bum.
got Calafiori. We've got Jorginho. We've got all these players that are bums. They're not.
They're not on the bench.
They are.
They weren't on the bench.
bums, bro. They are
They
not
weren't
going
on
to
the
change
bench.
us the game. We are looking to an 18.
You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know that. Oh, okay.
It's almost over, bro.
Wait,
Let
let me just ask a question. Let me just ask a question. Let me just ask a question, and then I'll shut up. Let me just ask a question, then I'll shut up. In it. Yeah, let me ask a question.
I'm gonna shut.
So, if we had it, and this is irrespective of whether you think they're good players or not, yeah. If Calafiori was on the bench, or let's just say available to be on the bench, let's say Jorginho available to be on the bench, and Kai Havertz available to be on the bench, do you not think that this manager makes earlier changes in the game? Like, it's very clear that he doesn't trust in Jack Henry Francis or whatever his name is, Butler Oyadeji, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if Jorginho and them man are on the bench, regardless of whether you think they're good or not, he is going to make changes, which means we are able to do something different. Yeah, you may not rate these players, but they will allow us to do something different. So
it's his bench, though, bro. It's his bench.
It's not
an area on that. It is his bench.
Jesus, if Jesus is like, if
Whose
okay,
bench is it then?
injuries happen. Like, I hear it. Injuries happen, yeah. But all of the players that he would have intended to have on his bench, yeah, are not the players that are currently on his bench, bro.
So how many goals did Calafiori get?
But see, Hooks, but see, Hooks, these players you've just talked about now, yeah, the reality of the matter is that they were not on the bench on the day yesterday. Sometimes you just have to go with what you have. You just have to go with what you have.
What he did.
This is his team. We have a certain Ukrainian. I mean, Hooks, see, yeah, we have a certain Ukrainian. Let's go with the reality. We don't have Kai Havertz, throw it away. We don't have Jesus, throw that all away. Let's go with what's in the box right now, who was outside there for him to pick among the dump we have down there. We have a certain Ukrainian who plays as a central midfielder for Ukraine. Even defensive mid, I've seen him play everywhere around the midfield area.
I don't think that was the question. I don't think that was the question.
Sometimes, because this is his team. This is his team. It's not an Unai Emery team. It's not an Arsene Wenger team. He brought Zinchenko in. Sometimes you just have to trust the certain players that you have. You just have to place trust on them and bring them and have a goal. Just
that wasn't the question, Tony.
Have a goal. It doesn't matter whether it's a question or not. Because I'm hearing Kai Havertz, I'm hearing who we have on the bench, who we don't have on the bench. What we have on the bench, why can't he make changes to affect that game? That's what I'm on about. How about Kirienteni? I've seen Kirienteni come in and change the game. Why can't he bring that one in? It doesn't have to be Kai Havertz. It doesn't have to be Jesus on the bench. If you're a manager earning that kind of money that we're paying him, you're meant to see. Life isn't meant to be easy. If you're earning that kind of money, you have to change situations with what you've got. You have to change situations with what you've got. So, I mean, I don't know, man.
That Finland English is hitting, man. That Finland English is hitting, blood. You know we hear you. Too.
No, you know what it is? I get you, but that wasn't the question. I get the question. I'm going to respond to it right now. Even if they were on the bench, we've seen in previous games, they were on the bench and they didn't do nothing, bro. It's not like they came on and they were changing games. Yes, it's a possibility they would, but seeing a game like that and how they got us hooked, Like, let's be real. They were overrunning us in the midfield, no breathing space. And to be honest, where would you change? Would you change Havertz and put him in the midfield? Who would you put on? Would you put on Gabriel Jesus? And what's going to really change in that dynamic?
Odegaard and Ranieri, though. Why did he change that?
No. We're saying Ethan. He doesn't play Ethan.
Oh my God! Thank you, Aaron. Thank you, Aaron. At least someone that was on the bench, that was present there. That's what I'm talking about.
I'm so happy.
We're talking about ghosts who are injured. I'm talking about someone who is there. Ranieri, 5 minutes.
Tony,
I'm so happy that Ola is here, yeah, because Ola was on the watch along with me.
Yeah,
and was I or was I not
crying for Ethan the whole
bring Zinchenko on, bring someone on in the midfield, move Miles Lewis-Skelly into the midfield and put Kieran left back, bro. I was calling this manager out for time, and then this prick brings on Ethan Nwaneri at 90 minutes And surprise, surprise, he actually nearly did. So I'm not
Arteta
gonna
ain't gonna do that.
here and try to tell me,
I
oh,
there
we
with
coaching
him
on the bench and money and all them things there, bro. I know.
He ain't gonna do that, bro. Arteta's not the guy that would put Zinchenko in the midfield and make it more.
Yeah, I know.
We're playing defensively.
Yeah, but this is why I'm getting to the end of my threshold. Because in that game, he actually was stupid. In that game, he was actually dumb. Like in that game, my thing is, and this is why I don't really run the thing about dead bench and yada 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 and all that, is because these men are footballers. Why are they receiving any money from the club, if at any given moment you can't just bring one of them on? It doesn't, and like, not every sub that comes on has to be some 10 out of 10 Ronaldinho footballer, bro. He just has to provide something different to what is currently on the pitch. We had people on the bench that could come on and provide something different to what was on the pitch. Nobody can tell me that's not the case. Because when Yeri came on the 90th minute and nearly changed everything. Imagine if he put him on in the 75th or the 65th. Imagine if he put on Zinchenko in the 55th. God forbid. Imagine he went, you know what? At halftime, you know what? Yeah, we're in a semi-final. It's not like we have a lot of time to deal with this tie. Cool. Do you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna move Declan back into the 8 and Miles Lewis-Skelly into the 6, and I'm gonna put Kieran Tierney left back. But why? But this is the thing. I don't have coaching badges. And I
know why he wouldn't play MLS, because he would say that you can't play MLS in this kind of occasion because it's a semi-final.
But doesn't
if
matter.
He plays Zinchenko,
if we remove Kelly from that left-hand side, then who's gonna be there? Turney? You think Turney is gonna handle the way?
Ben White, a right back. Timber could have played there. Move Kelly into the middle of the park.
There you go.
And keep Merino up.
I don't think they will handle Dwayne quite well. Yep. I don't think they will handle Dwayne quite well the way Miles Lewis-Skelly handled it.
Whether you do or not, the onus is on the manager to try and make in-game changes like you've been asking for to affect the game. He did nothing.
89 minutes is unacceptable, man. Come on.
Odegaard spent
the place out.
Big up, Matty, man.
Spent the place out. In-game tactics are in the bin. Big up, Matty, as well, by the way, man. Big up, Matty.
Big up, Matty.
In-game tactics were in the bin, though. You can't say that, he didn't have opportunities. He had the opportunities to change the game. I actually thought Zinchenko should have started because every time we get one player injured, I think I said it earlier, he changes 2 or 3. Why don't you just leave Merino up there to do his thing? Why? All of a sudden now we put Merino in midfield, he's stinking the place out, and now our attack's absolutely crap and all. I don't know why he has to jink things around and make 2 things.
Because Merino was good for that.
The only time Merino looked good during the game was when it was in the opposition.
Yeah.
That was the only time.
But brothers,
in the game.
Yeah.
Moreno was booked for this, by the way. This is the midfield that Arteta wanted, people. Do you remember when he was trying to push Partey out? It was going to be, why did he buy this midfielder? He bought him this summer to play there. He thinks that he can play in the midfield. The he's a madman. He's a madman, people. Moreno playing in the midfield is criminal. Criminal. You can't play. Okay, maybe against the Burnley or all due respect, of course. You can get away with it, maybe. You can get away with it, maybe.
I don't want to see that brother in the midfield, bro.
but this is the midfield.
Rachid, we better pray for Zubamendi then. We better pray for Zubamendi because
hopefully, man,
to go. And we all sat here and said, why are we not re-signed him to a new contract? Because we ain't got the money to replace the quality. We ain't.
No, we do. No, we got money.
We do have money. You are right. But do we trust this club in spending that money?
Yeah, Berta's here now, and Berta definitely didn't sign with Arsenal to not be able to.
Once again, I would say, I get the optimism, but let's see what happens.
Berta phase 1.
But let's see what happens because
I agree with Hooks.
We don't know.
I think Berta is a different spot on director.
Tony, the players that we need,
I think he's a different guy. I think he'll bring the signings in.
Over Odegaard, that's big money, bro. You know what I mean? And listen, the club could be smart. I want this club to go back to with Wenger, where we discovered Van Persie, Adebayor, Nasri. We didn't always break the transfer record. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not asking for that. I didn't grow up with us smashing the transfer record all the time. We're talking about smart business. I'm not asking. Hooks, you were saying, oh, we don't have to have, we don't need Ronaldinho on the bench. Bro, we were asking for Gyökeres. We were asking for Tony. We were asking for Dovbyk. I'm asking for flipping the striker flipping Pavlidis at Benfica that was performing and scoring against Barcelona in the Champions League. We're not asking for too much. Where did we get Diaby? Unfortunately, with injuries. Bro, we've done this. Do you know what I mean? We've been discovering great players before. Look what we did with Thierry Henry. Do you get what I mean? Why can't the club go back to that? We had limited funds and we had better recruitment. Let's be real about it, man. Let's be real about it. We would be able to use our youngsters, the players that were coming through the academy, use them in the Carabao Cup and FA Cup and still get quarterfinals, semi-finals comfortable. This is without barely using the bench. You're not even using our starting team, bro, because we would rest them and use that as a platform to see who's good enough. That is the level that we used to be at. I know we wasn't getting over the line, but we're not getting over the line now.
Yeah.
So it's like, what's going on? It doesn't make sense, bro. And back then, we were actually more ruthless. When Wellington Silva didn't make it at Arsenal, we got rid of him. David Bentley didn't make it at Arsenal, got rid of him. Do you know what I'm saying? We didn't care. Jenkinson didn't make it, goodbye. Do you know what I'm saying? That's how it was. We didn't cry about it. So why can't we go back to that? We were ruthless, bro.
Can I point out something as well? Bayern Munich, I know that you have to go, Hooks. Give me 1 second. I want to point this out because it leads. Bayern Munich got Harry Kane, baller. They got some ballers there. Inter Milan got Martinez and a couple of ballers there. PSG got Vitinha, the Kvara, Dembele. We're the only team that has no world-class players. Who's world-class in our team? Apart from Saliba, maybe. Who?
I think there's players that are playing at a world-class level, but I don't think there's anyone that deserves.
Who?
They're knocking on the door, innit?
Yeah. I would say Rice is knocking on the door. I would say Saka's knocking on the door. I would say Saliba's knocking on the door. I'd say Gabriel's knocking on the door. I'd say Timber's knocking on the door. And I would say Partey, especially this season, you could make a shout for it. You could definitely make a shout.
They've got to do this.
But
but that's my thing. My thing is
I agree with them names you brought up still. I agree with them names you brought up.
You need to it's not even just about doing this. Like, you have to play like a pivotal role in this happening, innit?
Yeah.
Like, can't be winning the Premier League but only played 6-7 games, innit? So I think that's the only difference, innit? Like, a lot of these players you name, they've won big trophies. I mean, barring one guy that you mentioned, but he's going on to win the Bundesliga this year anyway.
But he's world class though.
Yeah, so it's like I do hear it, like, and it is annoying because, like, as an Arsenal fan, like, I don't know, like, I guess all of us are of the age now. Like, even when we didn't have the best of teams, we always had players in our team that could play football at a really high level. Like, they were ballers. We always had that. Like, we're known for playing attractive football, and it's like, it's annoying because before I leave, this manager came in, and yeah, a lot of us were annoyed at the fact that we hired someone that was inexperienced, but he did at the start. He did say a lot of good things. Like, he did say, like, he wants to bring Arsenal back. He wants to get Arsenal back to the way that they were. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to start seeing, to get me, the trophies come back and the footballers come back and the way that we play come back and all of them things there. And it's like, cool, now we're going to be heading into our 6th season under him with potentially no trophy again. And that's not the Arsenal that I know, innit? Can
I just add that we've been in the semi-final, by the way. We've been in the semi-final, by the way, 2008, and when Wenger, when Wenger started to lose it, because them times we've been in the semi-final. It's not like now they're gonna use semi-final as a reference. The thing is that we've been here, so it's kind of like a roundabout. Yeah. Unless we win it, that's when you tell me, listen, look where I took the team. Yeah. If you took me to semi-final, I think we've been here. Bro, second place, we've been here.
Quickly, Ola, I'll let you go, Ola. Rachid has to go. So big up Rachid. Shout out your channel, bro. Make sure you subscribe to everyone, bro. The link is all in the
I don't
title,
think-
and Aaron's is pinned.
It's me that needs to go.
Yeah, hooks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said, did I not say hooks? I don't know.
No, you said Rachid. You said Rachid.
Pick up,
Oh, sorry.
We both
Like,
got
you
a
want me
beard.
to go?
We both
Am I
got a
alright?
beard.
Can
I
I
hear
stay?
it. You know, we both got a beard. I hear it. But
Is it a color thing?
yeah, you know what I mean.
But hooks. Before you go, are we gonna turn it around next week? Just before you go,
Are we gonna
I
what?
want to know your idea about that one. Can we turn it around next week?
Oh
Can
yeah.
we turn it around next week and beat PSG?
This is
Already said he's getting croissant.
This is my prediction. This is my prediction for and obviously between now and then it may change, but how it currently is. I think we'll go over there and it will either be 2-0 or 2-1, and then we'll take it to extra time and probably win in extra time. However, all I want is us like to just any way we can dodge penalties, because I think if we go to penalties, we go out. Like penalties is the only scenario that I think Arsenal 100% lose in the semi-final. But other than that, I still think it's all to play for. I think a lot of the players, Partey coming back, I think it's going to allow us to play in similar ways that we did against Real Madrid, against PSV, yada, yada, yada. And I do think that, I personally think it's crazy to assume that Arsenal are going to go this whole tie without scoring a goal. So then it becomes a scoring match. And we know that PSG can score goals because we saw what happened in their tie. Sorry, concede goals because we saw what happened in their tie against Aston Villa. I just bet on my defense being leaps and bounds above Aston Villa's. I think all of the statistics point towards that. So I would give us a fair shout if we had to force it into a scoring game. We know that PSG a bit lackluster from set pieces. So I mean, there's loads of different ways that we can overturn this tie. But I think it's more about the energy. That's what I think it's about. Like when that whistle blows, what gear are we coming out? If we're coming out in gear 1, then it's long. Because if they score first, I think the tie's done. But if we come out gear 3, gear 4, immediately out the traps and just fully put it on them, pause, I think we can go and do something magic. Hey, we've seen madder scorelines overturned in football, innit? I don't think it's too much to ask Arsenal to overturn a 1-0 deficit in it. So we'll see what will happen in it, but still every possibility we can go through, still every possibility we can go out. That's just the way that I view it personally.
Okay. Big up, man. Big up every single time for jumping on, man. Big up, Hooks.
Big up,
Take care, Rachid, mate.
Hooks, man. Big up to Hooks. We're gonna go. Ola, sorry, you were saying something, and then we'll go to Southern Guna, and then we'll wrap up the show because I said I only keep you guys for an hour, so we've gone over an hour. But go on, Ola, bro.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, like, on the topic of what Hooks was saying before he left earlier on in terms of the names of the players that are like knocking on the door, and they just have to go and win it, right? We've got 2 games now. We were saying 3 games after the Madrid game. We've got 2 games now. Essentially a 90-minute game to go and get a 50-50 chance of winning the trophy, right? And these players are now, this crop of players, forget what we've done in 2006 or reaching the final. This crop of players, they are now at the age where we as fans are now asking them, go and kill the lion with your bare hands, blood. I ain't giving you nothing else. Yeah, go out there and you've come of that age. Go and get it done. Yeah, because we've been here so many times with different group of players, and like I've said so many times, these players are mercenaries. If these don't go how we're supposed to go, we're going to start seeing some of these players' heads get turned to things that can really do it. I'm seeing the president of Real Madrid talking the other day that he's going to move heaven and earth to try and fucking get Saliba over there, down there to Real Madrid. And these are the type of challenges that we're going to start facing if we don't win one of these big trophies like real soon. These men are mercenaries. I've said it time and time again, but they are now of age. Go and get it done. 2 games, 1 90-minute game to give us a 50-50 in the finals. The time is now. I'm tired of waiting, bro. And like I said, I ain't looking to drown with these motherfuckers no more. Yeah, either they do it or get them gone, and blow it up and let's start again. You see, that's how I'm looking at it, man. But we got 90-minute game in the next leg to go and get it done. And this Bournemouth game, all right, it might not have any relevance to the second leg of the PSG game, but what it does, if we go and give a good performance, right? And I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh yeah,
which players? Which players? Ola, we don't have a bench for that.
What do you mean?
Which players?
So
who are we gonna field in?
Hold on.
Are you gonna risk Thomas Partey this weekend?
He's been risking
when
them,
we have
bro.
a big game against PSG.
Them.
Are you gonna risk Saliba? Are you gonna risk Merino to an injury? Bournemouth are coming to scrap.
I ain't the one risking them. Your manager's been risking them. Your manager been risking them, bro. He's been risking them. So if you're gonna risk it for a biscuit, go and get the points and give us the momentum to go into the next game. That's all I'm saying. It's there for everyone to see.
No, I hear it, man. I hear it. Southern Guna, Matty, what are you saying, man? Welcome to the show. What's
Big
your
up,
thoughts?
Matty.
What's your thoughts before we wrap up, man?
Big up, man.
This manager, can y'all hear me all right? Y'all hear me good? Can everybody hear me?
Yeah,
all good.
This manager went into the game yesterday and made a right mess of it. Mikel Arteta made a mess. Has anybody in here played Uno with your friend? You know, we all play Uno, you know. And you mess around here and you show your hand and you got a draw 4 sitting right there and it fall on the table. You like, crap, man, shoot. You know. So everybody know what you got. That's what he did yesterday. He did not play the best available team yesterday. Instead, he reverted back to what's not been working back in the earlier part of the season. Just wanted what he wanted to roll with. So what is PSG going to do? Gentlemen, I sat here and I thought about this long and hard after last night. Pause. And this brother is showed PSG exactly what he's going to do. They're going to go back to the tape from the second game, the first game we played them, because that's going to be the closest to the lineup we're going to put out next week. The only difference is Kai Havertz is not in the team. And Skelly, I think Skelly. There's only two differences. Well, they've got tape on Skelly now, and then they're going to make some adjustments. Timber, we don't know if he's going to play. We don't know what the deal is on that. Remains to be seen. This manager has consistently, since he's been here, mismanaged opportunities to be successful. And yesterday was another example of why this manager has to be sacked. I don't care if we win it. I'm with Northside. If we win the Champions League, it needs to be moved because it shouldn't stop at the Champions League this year. It should be consistent success across the board. This manager yesterday stood on that sideline. Me and Ola and Hooks, we sat right there and watched at a front row view at it. And this manager have seen that look before. I saw it against Man City in the Carabao Cup the year we bottled the league when Tony was raising Kane. I've seen it against Liverpool. I saw it against Liverpool last year. I've seen it against Newcastle every time we play them. I've seen it against Aston Villa this year when they came back early this year. This manager does not understand pressure. And how many times, each and every one of you have been on the panel when I've said this, how many times have I said that this manager is learning on the job? Guess what? That was his first Champions League semifinal yesterday. That was his first Champions League semifinal match. Guess what? That's learning on the job. Guess what? Next match, he's got to learn how to overturn a tie in the semifinal against a competent opponent. Now, I understand Hooks is saying, and this is not a shot at Hooks, but Hooks is saying that there's a chance to turn it over. And in theory, he is 100% correct. But I want people to understand, for Arsenal, and I hope Ola come back and hear this, what I'm about to say. He's right on time because Ola's going to know exactly where I'm about to go with this because we've watched this together for the last 3 years. People are saying, well, we hope we can get a goal so that we can get it to extra time. When has Arsenal ever been comfortable with a draw or either 1 point ahead? Where have we ever been comfortable like that in this football club under this manager? We need 3 to 4 goals to win this game next week.
Facts.
Now you can put that in your pipe and smoke it. I'm telling you now,
Facts.
this manager is not getting 3, 4, 5. We used those goals up against PSV. All the goals we needed was used up against PSV. Every last one of them. Every last goal we needed was used up against PSV. And everybody, remember I told you, Northside, Rachid, Aaron, emergency stream. Y'all remember I said, people are acting this year. Real Madrid is the semifinal of the championship. We've got to go play a semifinal and then get to the championship. People were jumping and celebrating. That's cool. But that was not the final match. That was not the match to get you to the semifinal. Now we've got there. Let me throw this out there too. Tony, I have a treat for you, my friend. You know, put your hand out there, Tony. Put your hands out because you know I'm gonna drop some. Everybody put your hands out there. I got something for y'all. I'm gonna put some in your hand. Soccer has one yellow card. What happens if soccer gets another yellow card next week and misses the semifinal, even if we win?
Finito. Halas.
What happened? Nobody brought that up yesterday. Nobody brought up he's sitting on a yellow card. If he gets another yellow card next week, he's out of the final. So all of y'all that was screaming, oh yeah, we got to have him back. We got to have him back. We got to have him back. What happens if he's not there in the final? What's the excuse going to be then, Northside? What you going to say then? Injuries? Nah. See, this manager has completely mismanaged this entire situation. The occasion was too big for the club yesterday. Even down to the tifo, they was flowing out the shower curtain that they had out there yesterday. Everything was completely off balance yesterday. It was as if nobody was prepared for it. Nobody was prepared from the top all the way down to the bottom. Just think about the chaos yesterday we saw. You had the fans were all over the place. They were quiet, you know. The manager, he's looking. The set piece coach is all out of his chair. People jumping up and down there at the set piece at the last second of the game. What is that reminiscent of, gentlemen? The same thing that we've seen all year long. When you look at Ipswich, you look at Palace, you look at Brentford, you look at that. All three of them games got one thing in common. Bad form. That bad form showed up again yesterday. There's no more hiding, y'all. This is the team that we saw yesterday is the real Arsenal. That's the real Arsenal that we've seen. They played up to Real Madrid. They got hyped up for that game because it was real hyped up. Remember I said they've got to have the same energy that we had against Real Madrid for the rest of the season. We needed every team we should play should be Real Madrid. When they walk into the locker room or the training room, wherever they go to work out or whatever, when they look at the schedule, it should say Real Madrid. Every game should be Real Madrid on the schedule because that's the intensity that they should have been playing with the entire season. And if they play with that same type of intensity for the majority of the season, we're probably having a different discussion about that. But this is a psychological issue, and this manager has not got these guys prepared. This manager has been out-coached by a manager who is one thing. And how many times do I tell y'all, anytime we run up against a team with a decent manager, the manager tends to pull our manager's pants down for everybody to see. And he embarrasses him. And he did it again yesterday. We're sitting there. I hadn't seen all of that outrage in a while. We're sitting there and we're looking for substitutions. The first substitution this fool makes is a defensive substitution. You're down one goal at home. We're at home, gentlemen. We're at home. At home. You cannot lose games in knockout competitions at home. You have to come away with something. And then he brings Ethan and Warwick, who needs to get ready to leave into something. If I'm his agent, I'm
no contract. 1 minute
out of here. I'm out of here. I'll find somewhere else to go because it is an embarrassment that Ethan bailed this brother out when soccer was nowhere to be seen.
Yeah.
And then soon as soccer gets back in, who did he do that to in the past, gentlemen? Oh, Leandro Trossard. The same treatment that Trossard is getting that he got is the same thing that Ethan. This manager does not understand how to work with players and move players around. Well, if Martinelli is having a stinker, well, put him over there. Nope, doesn't do that. Doesn't do that. He's got to go with his tried and true. And what has his tried and true got him in 5 years, gentlemen? Zero. Zilch. Nada. The manager is out of his depth. We are in major trouble. And as Ola alluded, a lot of these players. See, All of us have got women. When your woman start giving you the silent treatment,
Mm-hmm.
and you don't know really what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
and they come in the kitchen, don't talk to you. You pick up the phone, you're on the phone for maybe 2 minutes.
Yeah.
4
Some
days
people
go
here know
by.
about that.
Yeah, 6 days go by. You hadn't heard anything. 7 whole nights. Yeah. When that happens, you know. What has Saliba done? Have you heard anything from Saliba? Has he said anything? No, hadn't said one word. When they go quiet, all of us know about RBP. When they go silent, and they say, you know what? You you wake up and then you get that tweet. Hey, this is very important. I want to thank everybody for the success. I'm taking my talents over to the burner bar. That's what's gonna happen if we don't win this game next. If
The
we don't
little
win
boy
this
inside
game,
me always wanted to play for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
See, Matty, to be very fair, yeah, I really do think we can turn it around. There's still a chance to turn it around
20%, Tony.
in Paris. There's every chance to turn it around.
Yeah, 20%.
I'm not going to be hyper about this one because I definitely underestimated PSG the last time, and I've apologized to this chart, for doing that.
No more than
But again, I still don't think that this tie. Yeah, I don't think that this tie. I mean, it's totally gone. There's still a slim chance for us to do something, and that's because we've gone to places like Lisbon. We've gone to places like Lisbon this season.
We've gone to Aston Villa
to get points. We've gone to places like Villa Park. We've been to places like the Bernabeu.
We've gone to Liverpool
and gone to do something. Paris Saint-Germain is in such a first place for us to go and get something done than these other places I've talked about. They've been about. So, I mean, let's see what happens. If Thomas Partey comes back and then he gives the freedom to Declan Rice to do his thing, and then Merino plays up top, just keep it simple. Do what has always worked for you.
Tony,
I mean, he's changed everything in this first leg of the semi-final. Do what has always helped you out. It's simple. Do what has always helped you out. Tony, and let's see what happens.
Tony, you're missing something. You naming all them players. You said Rice. Call them out, Tony. Call the players out. You said Rice. You said Marino.
I said if Thomas Partey is back, he gives Declan Rice that room to actually help out our attack. And Marino will go up top.
All right, hold right there, Tony. Hold right there. But you didn't say nothing about Martin Odegaard is still in this team. Martin Odegaard is still in this team.
One with a C there. One with a C right there.
Oh my days.
Martin Odegaard is still in the team. See, everybody want to go back to Party. Everybody Party come back in the team. Party's been in the team with these draws as of late. These Crystal Palaces and all this stuff. He's been here. He's been in the team. He was in the team when Aston Villa came back, right? Right? Am I right?
Bro, you right.
Martin Odegaard is still in this team.
Matty, we couldn't play PSG with 10 men like we could against Real Madrid.
Thank you. That's my point. That's my point, Aaron. That's exactly what I'm saying. We're still playing with 10 men. Whether he come back, it's still 10 men. And also, let me tell y'all something from a tactical standpoint. As soon as we put Mikel Merino up there, they're going to take the ball off of him. But they were doing it yesterday, and he was in midfield. So if he goes up there, it's going to be even worse because they're going to now be able to counterattack.
Facts.
They're going to be able to counterattack.
Yeah, we're going to see. We're going to see, bro. I don't feel like we can keep up with the pace of the way that they
that's what I'm saying.
We've seen Barcelona before, prime Barcelona. We're talking about. Not saying that this Barcelona team ain't good, but we're talking about prime Iniesta, Xavi, that kind of level. You know what I mean? Busquets and them man there. We've seen how teams struggled because they moved the ball. They made the ball do all the working. You couldn't keep up with it, and if you don't, and the way that we already get beat 1v1. That's the thing with PSG. Not only do they move the ball and make the ball move around the pitch really quickly and interchange. The thing is, they can beat you 1v1. We were scared of Kvaratskhelia. We had to put 3 man on him. What does that say?
And it still wasn't good enough.
And it made them look like Oreos. It made them look like.
bro. Let's be
I
real.
mean,
We've seen, yeah, we've
just
seen Ashley
made them
Cole
look
go
like
up against-
Oreos.
Tony,
Just
we've seen
shocking,
Ashley
bro.
Cole go up against the best version of CR7 when he was tricky, when he could beat his man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you could
Mm.
see that he could deal with him by himself. I can't say that about Timber, bro. And this ain't CR7. Do you know what I'm saying? There's levels to this game, bro. There's levels to this game of defending. Bro.
No side.
It's
I
all
think
great.
To be fair,
Working at the
Timber's been all right throughout the season still.
Yeah.
And yesterday was probably one of the games that I'd say it was on some 3 out of 10, 2 out of 10 business. Generally, Timber will give you 7 out of 10 in a lot of the games that he's been in this season.
Only you know what it is? It's that when we talk about for years, we've all said we need players that, you know, moments players.
Facts.
And then when you look at PSG, you look over there at Doué,
Yeah.
bringing the ball out of the air like he did yesterday. You got Hakimi. I don't know if it was you or who I was talking to. It might have been Normski. That's what it was. I was talking to Normski yesterday, and I asked him. I said, "Let me ask you a question." I said, "Did Saka get dealt with?" I said, "Did Saka get cut off, or did Hakimi put him in his back pocket?" I said, because people forget how good Hakimi is. With these players over there, it is no coincidence that they are where they are. Because when you go back and look at the body of work leading up, coming out of that knockout stage all the way to here, they've had a tough route. We played a pathetic PSV team. Yeah, I mean, we played Real Madrid. I know this. I understand. But we have been winging it for most of this season. We're winging it in this tournament. And now that we're running into players that have just another step, as Northside alluded to, just another gear. And Doué wasn't even on smoke yesterday like he normally is.
So because we're punching, Matty. We're punching.
Yeah,
we're above our level. Final is this team's level and this manager's level. Max.
And that's why.
But again, see, okay,
yeah. When we were calling for signings this summer, see, people thought we were just calling for signings just to say we need signings. No, I was calling for signings because these moments are gonna come up, and you need players that can come in there. If for everybody keep talking about Party being out, if one player caused that much confusion in your team, one player being out causes that much confusion in your team, then there's an imbalance somewhere. Because there should be somebody that can come in and get the job done.
But Matty, even if you had that though, Matty, yeah, the thing is, yeah, you give this manager all the players that he needs. You trust him to utilize them properly. You trust them to keep them when they're in form. You trust them to take them out of the team when they're out of form. You trust them to impact the game at the right time. You trust them to be put in the team in a position that everybody works within the system. And this is the thing. Ultimately, we wanted the signings to highlight. It's not just about the signings. The man isn't good enough. Lampard at Chelsea said that team isn't good enough to win a major honor. They're not ready yet. Tuchel comes in, Champions League. Difference in management. Wasn't difference in players, difference in management. Do you know what I'm saying? Conte taken over at Chelsea. We've seen Slot taken over at Liverpool. They finished behind us last season. Comes in, difference of manager. All of a sudden, boom, we're good enough to get over the line when everybody was saying they need a rebuild. Bro. And that is what a top level manager does. He improves players around. You don't need every single player.
Don't pretend that says, he didn't bring that replacement for Thomas Partey. I mean, the person he brought in to help out was Merino. I mean,
Merino was the replacement, Tony.
Goofed on that one.
He's the replacement.
He has goofed on that one already. That ship has sailed long time ago. And that's why, I mean, me and Matty, all the streams, I've called this out. I mean, the manager has completely wasted, the funds that should be used to actually help the squad. Merino was brought in for that same task because, area duels is always there, both ground and air. It was always there in Spain. But, since he came down here, when he is playing the midfield, I don't see any aerial battle from Merino at all. At times when he's playing in the midfield, it wasn't this bad in midfield. I'm serious. I watch the Spanish La Liga. It wasn't even under an inferior coach that people would like to say than Mikel Arteta, if we're to call a spade a spade.
He's not suited
his
to the
aerial
league,
ability His ground ability. He has so many abilities in the midfield. He even scores goals, lots of goals from middle of the park. But it comes to Arsenal and it's something different.
But
so
I
don't know, man. It's the manager. I mean, it's the manager, man.
When he's in the Prem, João Felix didn't look this bad in the Portuguese league. You know, Shevchenko didn't look as bad when he was in the Italian league when he came over here. So some players, yes, it's a quality. Some players, it just doesn't suit their game. Certain leagues, it doesn't get the best out of them. Do you know what I mean? Depay as well. He looked good before coming to the Prem. You know what I mean? So did Di Maria. Some players are not suited to the Prem, and it just works out like that sometimes. You know what I mean? But listen, big up to all of you, man. Apologies, it was only going to be an hour. Big up to everyone that's locked in. We're going to go around the panel. This is your chance to subscribe and help the Mandem. You know what I'm saying? Mandem, thank you, all of you lot, for joining the show. We'll start with Rachid and we'll go around. Rachid, shout your channel out, bro, and what you got coming up next, bro.
Hey, salute, man. Salute for this. It was lit. I enjoyed the show, as always. Salute to Tony. Salute to North, obviously. You know, Ola, my guy. Aaron, you already know. Matty, the whole team, Hooks, everyone, man. Listen, I want my apology first from Tony Claude, because yesterday we were talking about how I don't respect anyone in Europe. I don't respect anyone in Europe. I was like, calm down. Partey ain't going to play. He's going to fall. This midfield's we're going to have to rely on his players now. We're going to have to rely on Moreno. We have to rely on our summer transfer signing. Watch out. I want my apology, Tony Club, please. I want it now.
You know what? Yeah, I would apologize to you. I had to apologize to the chat earlier because I mean, I really pissed some of the people in the chat off, but not to you. You know, we'll do that after we bundle it out of the second
because you forgot to text me.
You know,
you forgot to text me.
Yeah, we'll see how the second leg. It's just to the fans out here because I really stepped on some toes down here. So you know, I just have to do the honorable thing. I mean, many other people will see. I mean, Igal is hiding. All the other guys are hiding. I'm not hiding. You know, I step up. At least I come out and say, like, I was wrong. I'm wrong. You know, I was wrong. I underestimated PSG. I could see Matty trying to cover that. That's why Matty would say, Tony never learns. I mean, Matty has always told me, Tony, this is going to be the end. And I don't listen to him. And this is what I have to do now. So, I mean, after being voted out of the semi-final, then I would say, but again, I still think this tie hasn't ended.
Go on, Tony. Shout your thing out as well, man. Listen, Tony, respect for being a man and being, you know what, I got that wrong, innit? You know what I mean? Respect. I respect that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It takes a man to say, you know what, I was wrong in my estimation or whatever. The same way we said, we didn't think we could beat Real Madrid, and we said, they did their thing, no excuses. Props to the team, you know what I mean? So respect, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, shout out your channel, bro. What you got coming up as well, bro?
Yeah, first of all, big up to this chart, and like I said, I'll carefully reiterate again. I'm very sorry about what I said underestimating PSG. I know I riled up most of you down here. I'm very, very sorry about that. You know, it's one of those things. But yet again, I still think something a little magic might still happen down there in France, but let's see. I've always worked with Ola down here. I've always worked with Matty down here. Big ups to you, Aaron, man. Aaron, big ups to you. I've always wanted to work with you. It was nice to have you on the show today, man. Top guy, man. Big up to Rachid, man. Rachid, I'll see you on our show on Sunday on your channel, man. Big time, I'm gonna see you. Big up to you, Northside, man. Northside, bless up to you, man. Thanks for everything you've done for me, man. Because you were one of the first podcasters to actually give me a chance on a big YouTube channel. Big ups to you. I always, and that's the love I have for you, my brother, man. Thanks to you. Big ups to you. And to everyone here, big ups to you. Southern Gunner, it's all love. All love.
Come on.
Peace, people. Subscribe to my channel, Tony Club Gunner TV. Help a brother out, people. Help a brother out.
There you go. You're getting a lot of love in the chat as well, man. The chat it's all our opinions, man. It's all blessed, you know what I mean? But big up Tony, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you subscribe to Tony as well. And Ola, man. Yeah, the family, man. I actually thought, like Aaron and Ola specifically, and Matty, I thought These men ain't gonna have the time. They got family, they got kids. So I appreciate it because you guys.
No. You know, it's a pilot show today, man. So that's why it might not be like this the next time. It's a pilot show today, so we have to give it the time still. But one thing I'm gonna say before I shout out my thing, yeah, and this is going to what you man was saying earlier on, especially Matty. When you deep the people that are left available to win trophies this season, right? I'm looking at Newcastle that's already won. Man City's had a horrible season. They could go and win the FA Cup, right? Chelsea, I'm not counting them out to win that Conference League. It's still a fucking trophy. United, as bad as they've been, are in there with Tottenham. If any of these motherfuckers go and win any of this thing and we get left out, bro, you look
Oh my God.
You look at it, because I don't think anybody's thinking about this, bro. I don't think people are actually deep in what could happen, bro. Yeah,
you preaching over
all these brothers go and win something, and we end up empty-handed this season, bro. It's gonna be a long summer. Buckle up, people. Buckle up. Better pray.
pain.
To all the football, to anything you lot believe in.
Deji
That we
Sports.
win. That we win this fucking UCL, bro.
Pain.
You lot better pray, man. It's gonna be a long summer, and you lot need to buckle up, bro. You're gonna need to buckle up. And yeah, people, come check us out on the Fight Week show. We talk about combat sports, boxing, MMA. That's what we do over there. The beautiful violence. You know what I'm trying to say? That's what we do over there, man. People crack up elbows on people's noses. You know what I mean? Uppercuts, you name it, all kind of craziness. Francis Ngannou, you know what I mean? We got it all going on. We're doing one show tonight, 9 o'clock tonight on the Fight Week show. Come join us over there, man. And salute to Aaron, salute to Rachid, salute to Matty, my bro, salute to Tony, my brother, and big love Northside as well, man, for putting this together, man. You know what I mean? You're going to be seeing a lot of us on this show right here. Tough talk.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah? Make sure you, man, tune in the next time we pull up. Come on.
Come on, man. Big up my G, man. Make sure you're subscribing to the Fight Week show, man. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're doing that. Make sure you subscribe to Ola, man. And love again for jumping on, man. And appreciate it. Aaron, what you saying, man? You were rattling some people yesterday, yeah?
I was, yeah. Massively in the evening. Massively rattling a few people. That's what I'm here for, man. To smash worldviews. That's what we do. Not my fault. I just can't listen to it sometimes. You just gotta call out for what it is, innit? You know, if they don't like it, oh well. But listen, my Portuguese on north side, man. Cheers for having me on. It's gonna be a lit show, this, like it was today. Keep following the tough talk, man. It's gonna be the same thing every time. We're gonna bring you the facts every single time. I'm at Aaron Talks Arsenal. I've got a wicked Friday night call in. I do about 8:30 every week, so make sure you're there for that, people. And I'll leave you on this. This is my last little bit. Since we won the FA Cup, we've entered 19 competitions. 18 of them have come to their climax. We've failed in 18 consecutive competitions since winning the FA Cup. And if we do not win the Champions League, we've failed in 19 consecutive competitions that we have entered. Arteta out.
Yes, trust the process, man, and make sure you subscribe to Aaron Talks Arsenal, bro. You know what I'm saying? Make sure you're subscribing to Aaron, man. You know what I mean? Listen, I appreciate it. I appreciate your time. I know you've got limited time, so I appreciate it. I appreciate it, man. Every single time. Make sure you're subscribing. You know what I mean?
Cheers,
Southern Gooner, the guy with the crispest camera on the whole flipping YouTube, bro. So it done. Look at it, bro. You can see the sunshine and everything, bro. Even on the dark days.
I'm telling you, man. Shining, brother.
Big up,
man. Always shining.
Matty's bald head was losing hair yesterday, bro.
I was growing hair yesterday.
It was mad, bro.
Yeah. Yep. Southern Gooner here on YouTube. Let me tell you, man, this manager, I don't, for me, man, I just don't. There's a 20% chance of him doing it, and even if he does it, can we guarantee him to win it? That's where the problem comes in. I don't feel confident at all. This manager is just once again won his welcome out, and he embarrassed himself again. He embarrassed the football club. And I think yesterday's gonna go down as our chance to have done get the job done. It's just for me, I feel like it's gonna be too much of a mountain to overcome. we've got to completely go clear and win against them, not go to penalty kicks. That's not going to get it because we still open ourselves up to struggling. But if we're going to do anything, we've got to score in the first 5 to 10 minutes. The same way they scored yesterday, I think it was in the first 4 minutes. We've got to do the same thing when we get there next week. And we've got to try to hope that players like Saka can sustain themselves without getting a yellow card. And folks, we got to, avoid injuries. And for me, this weekend, they're going to have to emphatically win this game somewhere or another this weekend. I know we're out of the league, but nobody's talking about teams are catching up to us in the league. We might not even finish second this year if we ain't careful. We actually go into free fall starting next week if we're not careful. We could actually go into free fall because it's that time of the year, y'all. The only difference is this year we're actually sitting in the Champions League semifinal. Normally we're all raising hell and looking at everything and watching it all blow up and smoke. Well, the only thing that's kept the same is this Champions League. But if you look around us, everything else is going down in smoke. The title is over. We got to get them to go out on in a few weeks. And wouldn't that suck if we get put out of the tournament next week and then have to do that? And people want to say, let's give him another year. I wouldn't give him another minute. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all have a good night. Make sure y'all subscribe to Northside. Big up, Aaron. Big up, Rachid. Big up, Tony. Ola.
Salute.
Much love to everybody.
Big up, man.
Big up,
man. Every single time, Matty. And big up to all of you lot, man. I genuinely appreciate the show. Couldn't be the show without everybody here. You know what I mean? So make sure you're subscribing to everyone. Aaron's link to his channel is pinned in the comment, and everybody else is in the title. Going forward, if I can't fit, I'll just put everybody's in the pinned comment. So make sure you're subscribing and supporting the man there. Also, quick one before we go. Any of you guys, when we do the show, any of you guys, obviously I can only redirect to one person. The first person to ask me, if I'm doing a show after the show, could you redirect? I'll say yes. And then the following, I can do it to somebody else and I can redirect. That's a good way to grow as well. So anyway, I can support. I appreciate it. First one to ask me gets the redirect.
Yeah, I'm asking you right now. Let's do it. Shit.
Are you going live now?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm going to show straight after by 9 o'clock. Take down. You get me?
Nah, but that's in an hour though. The redirect has to be straight after the show.
All right. Yeah, man. All right. Cool.
Yeah. Unless you want to move it. Do you want to quickly move it and we'll redirect?
No. I got guests. That's time for that one. International guests.
Cool. Yeah, thank you for bringing that up. There's no point in me redirecting if you're not gonna go on straight after because people just leave. That's how they are. Like, you know what I'm saying, after redirect. So listen, love to all of you lot. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to the panel and supporting the man there. We're going to, since Ola's going to be on in an hour, we're going to redirect to Lee for the Barcelona Inter game that's literally just kicked off. And Northside Raid on the way in. Subscribe to everyone, please. Subscribe to everyone. Help the community the same way I was helped when I was growing and still am growing. Make sure you subscribe to everyone. And we're out, man. Love.
Peace.